to further professionalise your fleet with their updated commercial van range. The team at Northern Peugeot Bundoora can help customise your fleet to your business needs. Stock arriving now, so secure your van and beat the rush before the end of financial year madness. Visit northernpeugeot.com.au or call 9119 9008. T&Cs apply.
Pickett, she lays it off. Teresa Polias. It's an absolute peach. Ayres driving. What a hit from Melina Ayres. Wow.
And Sam Kerr has a hat-trick.
And hello and welcome back to another episode of Radio Dub. I'm so proud of us lately. Me, you, Oscar, Miranda. I've been more consistent with the episodes of Radio Dub, and I am Pokuah Frimpong, and you are Lachie Flanagan. And
I think so, yeah.
I hope you are.
Pretty sure.
I hope I'm not doing the show with some doppelganger.
That would be strange.
What do you reckon your doppelganger would be like?
I don't think they'd be hugely different to me. Pretty sarcastic, but excited to be here, more to the point.
Exactly, and that's what we love to hear. And you know what? We're heading into finals, and I thought we need to do a little bit of a throwback. We need to get somebody on the show who we've had on before, who actually was on our very first show on Radio Dump with me and Josh Parrish. Josh is long gone now. Sayonara, my friend. But that's Mackenzie Hawkesby. Now, Mackenzie Hawkesby, star midfielder for Sydney FC. I've talked her up, one of my favourite players in the competition. Mackenzie, how does it feel to have one hand on the Premier's plate? How does that feel right now?
Yeah, not going to lie, it feels pretty good. We knew coming into the week, what we needed to do, and now we only have one more game to go. And I think that, we're pretty excited now. It's all in our hands, which is what we wanted. So yeah, we're pretty keen.
No, see, Mackenzie, I think that sometimes, football players, you're all a bit too humble, okay? And I think that in the last 2 seasons, you've really, your game has improved exponentially, gone better and better, and, your playmaking has got a lot better. But my favourite part about your game is the subtle levels of, you're a bit sarcastic, and I really appreciate that about your game. Because every time I watch you, I'm like, I just know she's being sarcastic right now. Is this something that's just always been a part of your game?
Yeah, I think that I show my emotions when I play. It just comes out. Honestly, when I get on the field, I sometimes have, I think, a bit of white line fever, as you could say. But yeah, I have a bit of a big personality, I would say, and I think that comes to show on the field. I try not to be. I mean, usually I'm not sarcastic. I'm pretty passionate. But some of it's a little bit of white line fever. I know that I do show my emotions, so I've got to sort of tone that out a bit. But I guess I am who I am.
Who said you need to tone it down? It's fantastic. It's my favorite part. It's honestly when you're you're just slightly offside. And you're like, are you sure? Are you sure I was offside? Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, my family say, "Oh, you're very you show your emotions." I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's. I mean, I like to. That's what I do, and it's who I am. So yeah, I know I'm somewhat become a bit of a character on the field, but yeah, I mean, it's all in good way. It's all because I'm passionate and I love the game. So.
I'm curious to know how Ante finds that, because he seems to, I think, differ quite a lot between sort of 2 modes of approach on the bench. He can be very stoic sometimes, he can be very calm, but when the time is there for the lid to come off, I think Ante knows when to get up and about. How does he feel about your more vivacious style on the pitch, I guess?
There's nothing wrong with that. I love it.
I'm not saying there is.
I think, I think being an older player in the team, I know that when someone like T left, there's, I guess, that leadership role and that communication and that, talking on the field is something that I guess I've sort of taken over. And, I think that my team, I think they back me in the way I am on the field. I think, it's sort of somewhat who I am. And I know that, games can get a bit fiery sometimes. I know that there's a lot of chaos. I try to be calm sometimes, but I know that sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand. But yeah, Ante, I know he backs me, and I think showing a bit of emotion is good. Like, I think it's good to show that, you love the game and it's all in goodwill. So yeah, I think him and the team like it. I hopefully.
No, I think you've got it figured out. Being calm is no fun. There's thousands of calm footballers who are just completely straight. Nah, no fun.
No fun. Get away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I sort of just go with it, and whatever happens, I react to whatever happens in front of me. That's either with the goal and offside with the referee. But I try to keep it. Try not to go too far, obviously, because I need to keep my cool. But yeah, it's all about passion. It's just about passion. So
see,
sure.
I feel like this season for you must have been like one of the best seasons to play, because you got Courtney Vine, Princess Abini, Madison Haley. You just got people to pass it to for days. So we're constantly moving all the time, and like, it's impressive. The attacking weapons that you guys have is impressive. But as a midfielder, and you're always creating a lot, how nice has that been this season to link up with those guys on the field?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been playing with Court and Prin for 3 seasons now, so we've formed really good connections for a while. But now with Maddie in the fold, I mean, it makes my job quite easy. They're all 3 of them are just superstars, and we're really on the same page now. And I think that's built over time. But I think Maddie is like fitted in seamlessly and really fits in our style of play. So for me, I'm able to, hit her and run off her. She's really good at our hold up play, and obviously I play on the right or left midfield. Court and Prinny, we just know we know each other. We know what to expect from each other. So I think for me it's again, makes my job very, very a lot easier when you have really quality players around you, where you can feed the ball through, and the runs they're going to make and everything. So it's been really fun this season having Maddie in. She adds a different element, I think, to our team, which has been, as you can see, been doing really well. So it's good.
Now, Mackenzie, I've been thinking about this a lot every time I see Sydney FC play. Who is the fastest player in the team? Because I know Courtney Vine is very quick, but Madison Haley looks like quick off the step, and Prinny, I feel like she'll chase you down in 20, like she's got you covered.
Yeah, like Courtney by far is the quickest. She's just absolutely rapid, but Maddie and Prinny are very, very explosive. Like when they hit full flight, I don't know. Like honestly, I haven't had a race, but I think it'd be like pretty tight between, I think, definitely Court and then Maddie and Prinny. Yeah, I mean, when they're in full flight, I wouldn't want to be running after them. That's they're pretty quick.
It almost feels like you could get into moments, Mackenzie, where you're almost spoilt for choice. Are there times where, say, you're running on the, you're coming forward on the break, you've got the ball at your feet, and you've got these three elite attacking options further afield, and you're like, I'm not 100% sure who to pass to here, because all 3 of you are very worthy options to feed the ball to. It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. I mean, they're just, all 3 of them they're different in their own way, but they are just outstanding. And like I said, whatever I see in front of me, I know that I know what I'm going to get from them. They're just, they help me so much when in the midfield. I'm able to, just be able to hit them in any position on the field, and I know where they're going to be. So it's not going to lie, it's been something that I've been really loving this season, playing a bit higher and been able to connect with them a bit more. And as you can see, we've done really well and scored like a lot of goals this season. So it's been really fun.
Absolutely. And you can, you saw on last night that a number of those options that you had available to you got onto the score sheet. I'm honestly still getting over that goal from Courtney, how well taken that was. That was quality, but it was a quality game as well. I mean, you talk about having your destiny in your own hands now going into the final round for that Premier's Plate race, but it was you. I feel like you guys were made to work for it last night against Perth. That was a cracker.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of knew what they would set up. Like, we watched a couple of games, did a bit of tactical work. We knew that defensively they put a lot of numbers behind the ball, and we knew that they were going to defend really well, and as they did. So we knew it was going to take a bit to break them down. And as you can see, we had a lot of shots, and I had a lot of shots as well. So I think that it was and we knew that they were good on the counter, and they brought on people at halftime. They did a really good job. So, and they had a lot to play for as well. So it was always going to be a really tough game. But I think that, I think that we played brilliantly in our front third yesterday. It's not easy to break teams down like that, especially when they put a lot of players behind the ball and they defend well. So yeah, I think that we can take a lot of confidence from that game, knowing that the first half we may have had a lot of chances and maybe not put them away, but second half we did really well and put a lot away. So yeah, I mean, really good game, and it was pretty exciting as well. So it was fun to be a part of for sure.
I'm looking forward to this weekend because this is what I love about the dub. Like, I love that there are still places to fight for in the top four. Obviously, for you guys, you're focusing on getting that the hands on the Premier's plate, which Charlotte McLean was on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that you guys really set it out as a goal to do the three-peat because no one else has ever done that in the competition. Did you, when the Canberra result got overturned, were you a bit nervous about that not happening, or did you just have back the team and back the games you had left and knew you guys could see it out?
Yeah, I think the Canberra result wasn't really a shock. Obviously, they appealed and they won the points, and at the end of the day, they won the game. So I think for us it was more we have a lot of belief in our squad, and we knew that with the games left and players coming back into our squad who had injuries and things, we backed us 100%, and we knew that we just needed to do the job no matter what happened, if we kept the 3 points or got them taken away. So I think that I think it's it was a bit of a stressful week last week. We with the 3 points taken off us, and we played City and we drew, but I think that we showed a lot of resilience after the loss against Wellington as well, and we've really pulled through. And I think that when it comes to our team, we know how to win, and I think that we've done that the last two seasons by winning 2 premierships, and we know what to do. And I think that it really showed last night and Sunday how much of a winning mentality we have. And Saturday is going to be so exciting, and I think we can't wait. So it's going to be good.
I'm really excited to see Saturday's game because we still don't even know how this ladder's going to finish up. But you know what, Mackenzie, what I love, but I also want to see more from you. Is I want to see more goals, because you've got the calmest goal celebrations ever. It's just yeah, that's right, I did it, because I called your game what game was it? Against Adelaide, right? And you did I don't know if we're calling it an exclamation point, with the straight fist down of just yes. What are we describing that celebration? What are we calling that?
Yeah, so that celebration, I do a fair bit. It's actually it's Harry Kane does it. When he scores, and it's more of the hand down, but I did a fist pump, and it just it's sort of subtle, and I don't know. Honestly, when it happens, it just came out. Honestly,
Okay.
Whatever happens when I score, it just comes out. But yeah, I guess it's it was a bit of more of a subtle celebration. I try not to go too crazy, unless it's a massive game and we need to win. I don't try to go too crazy even, because I knew we were 2-0 up, and I was just and it was a tap in as well. Prinny did all the work. So I think I was just I try to be subtle with it and just try to be I guess a fist pump always gets me pumped up. So I don't know, it just comes to me. I don't know what
I don't know why footballers they keep doing this they're all so humble about things. I'm like, I could never. If I was
I know.
I'm just saying, Lachie, if this was me, the way in which I would hype myself up, you wouldn't even know. I would be on a different planet right now. I'm just saying, no. But that run that Prinny did was actually very, very good. Dragged all the defenders. It was quite impressive. And we talked a lot about the Sydney FC attack, but your defence this year and for multiple years has been so reliable and consistent. Obviously, Charlotte's out at the moment, but Nat's ever so reliable. She's always. Every time that someone tries to make a pass into the final third, Nat Tobin just shows up with their red boots and says, not a chance, not today. How does it feel like that, having that kind of defence behind you and, having the freedom to go forward and be as creative as you like?
Yeah, I think for our team, and Auntie's instilled this in us, scoring goals is great and attack's great, but defence wins you championships, and that's been our main focus. And that's, sort of our identity. Defence comes first, and then, and then attack. So I think, our defence the last 2-3 seasons have been, in my opinion, so underrated. They have been, unbelievable for us. And like you said, someone like Nat, just a phenomenal player. Again, is super underrated in my opinion. Is her and Charlotte are the best two centre backs in the league, and I think they just have shown that week in, week out. And I think for us, again, like from midfield's perspective, it makes my life so much easier when our defenders are defending, stepping in front of players, doing things that I don't really see often when they just come in and crunch players. You can just see how when Charlotte put her body on the line, when she fractured her face, just things that something that you don't see often. And I think that our defence has proven time and time again from last year, breaking that record of 9 clean sheets. And this year, we've conceded the least amount of goals. We've had the best defence in the league for 2 years. And I think again, we are blessed because we have an amazing attack, and our defence is just is honestly, I have no words. I think they're just they're the core of our team, and all of them have had really great seasons, especially our two centre backs have just been world class this season. So I'm very lucky to have that behind me. So it's been really, really good.
Mackenzie, you said something earlier that really made my my ears prick up, my eyebrows raise, which is that you describe yourself as being one of the senior heads in the team, and I'm sitting to myself and I'm thinking, hey, hang on, what have I misunderstood here? Because I'm pretty sure you're 22. How does it all work? But then of course I remember that you're playing and were last night playing in a midfield that features 19-year-old Sarah Hunter and 15-year-old Indiana Dos Santos, who got on the score sheet for the first time in the Liberty A-League last night. I mean, what an incredible moment, and I imagine for you guys, exciting to see this player who, people like Pokuah and I.
Yeah, do you know what, actually, Lachie? I've actually got a nickname for her. I'm calling her the Smiling Assassin, because I've never seen a player smile more on a football field. She looks so happy all the time, but she seems like a killer.
Yeah, but I mean, what was it like to be there as she sort of experienced an incredible moment? She's one of the top 10 youngest goal scorers. I think she's number 5 all time as youngest scorers in the comp, which is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, like it's crazy. I think I read a stat today that our midfield last night had an average age of 18. So yeah, I do feel old, I'm not going to lie. But for Indy, I mean, yeah, she's been training with us all season. She's been excellent all season. You can tell she's just got amazing technique, and there's such quality on the ball, and actually is so calm and composed for her age. Like for 15, it's just ridiculous. Like, and I spoke to her before the game, and she just has such a, I guess it's like a calm confidence. Like she just is so, for 15, she just is so, like, she's always smiling, and she just came on and did her thing. Even last week against Adelaide, it's been 2 really, really high intensity pressure games, and she's come on and just been unbelievable. And yesterday I thought she was again working with her, but she's just excellent, such a positive player. And I mean, Ante has done a really good job in nurturing her this season, as in all our young ones, and you can just see that we have a lot of quality, and the youth coming through in our development is just is really exciting. So yeah, I mean, I'm so happy for her. We're also happy for her. It's unbelievable to score at 15. Like at 15, I don't even know where I was. I think I was playing reserve grade. So to think that she's scored in A-League is just is crazy, and it's such a crucial game too. So yeah, we're so happy for her, and she couldn't stop smiling. I was like
it's infectious, right?
Very cute, yeah, very cute.
Yeah, no,
You've only added weight to Pokuah's potential nickname.
She's a Smiling Assassin. I like that. I feel like we can get some merchandise for Indiana Dos Santos for that.
There you go.
I feel like that's a good one.
Has it been, because it's only it wasn't actually that long ago when she stepped out onto the field as a Sydney FC player for the first time. Has there been a bit of excitement brewing sort of internally? Because obviously everyone who's now getting the chance to see her do her thing on the pitch and do it in emphatic fashion, scoring a goal, last night, are getting to know her now. But you've been training with her week in, week out. Ante's been developing her, as you said. You've known surely that there's this special player who's going to step up, and it's a matter of when and not if. Was it exciting in the build up to that, knowing that she was going to come out and potentially deliver something special as she has now?
Yeah, for sure. I think coming into preseason, she's come a long, long way. Especially for a young player, she's come into our team, has learnt principles and tactical work in our team, and she's come in leaps and bounds. And I think for our team, it's hard because, we have obviously a core group, and she got her opportunity when, Shay got injured in a week, and then she had an opportunity to start, and she's just been a scholarship player, and we were low on numbers, but we all knew, we've seen it at training, we've seen it week in, week out, what she can do. We see her, her little feet to in and out, scoring goals at training. So yeah, we all knew that. I knew that she was going to come on and do a really good job. Obviously, I wasn't surprised when she came on, and especially against Adelaide, you could just see the confidence. I think for me, I know how good of a player she is, but to have that confidence at 15 is something that not many players have. So I think that for all of us, to see her just do her thing, and we all support her a lot, and I think that helps as well, because we do have such a young squad, and I think that not surprising from our perspective, and I think that Ante's done a brilliant job with her, and it's been so good to play with her. I read something, she hasn't started her first grade game in NPL.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling when you think about it. But I think in our team, she's worked really well with a lot of us, and she's trained with us, and she realizes she's just come around really quickly and just learned our identity, and it's just fitted in seamlessly. So I think it's been something that I think as a club we should be really proud of how good our development is for our youth coming through. So it's so good.
See, Mackenzie, I like to hear that, because obviously I'm trying to improve my footballing ability. I think I'm going to get back into playing a little bit of football, okay? Not this season, but maybe next season, okay? Now, Mackenzie, the skill I want to take from you, and I want your advice on it, okay? Your corners and your set pieces, I think, is one of your best parts of your game. You always look so calm and relaxed. Now, can you give me some tips on how I'm supposed to get a little bit better, so when I go out there, I'm the best on the park when it comes to those certain things?
Yeah, my corners, they took a while. I remember when T left, I know I just got put as corner taker, and I didn't I remember the first game I was terrible at. But I think for me, I have a routine before I take the kick. I have this thing that I do, and gets myself in the zone, and I think that I think that I found my technique quite early on, and I'm from one side. I learned how to drive it, and I think that I practiced so much at training. Practice does help a lot, I'm not going to lie. And I think I had help from some of the girls. I remember Ellie Brush was actually at Sydney at this point, and she helped me. I just took a few corners, and she just helped me with the technique and stuff. And then now I've I've been taking them for now 2 years now, and I think that I think corners and set pieces are a massive asset for any team, and I think that I've honed down on them, and I've got the technique pretty down packed. And I think that I think it's something that you just got to have confidence with, because like I said, it's not easy to hit a perfect ball in, especially when it's windy or it's wet and things like that. So you just got to have confidence and find that technique, and I think I've found that. So I'm going to take that.
I'm going to take that advice. And when I score a goal, Mackenzie, and I tag you in it on social media, just know that it came from you, okay? Now,
definitely will.
Now, Mackenzie, before we let you go, I've just spotted in the back now, I didn't realise that your shoe game was like this. See, there are 3 different Air Forces, or are there 2 Air Forces in 2 different colourways there at the back?
There's 3. There's 2. There's 1 Jordan and then 2 Dunks.
Okay, now I didn't realise you had this shoe game in your locker. So I need to now know, is your shoe game the best at Sydney FC, or is somebody else there, is there anyone competing?
I feel like a lot of people's shoe game is really good in our team.
Really?
I could go around Prinny's so good, DA's is good, Courts is good, God, everyone's are so good. Everyone has nice shoes, whether that's Nike, New Balance. So, but I've got the blue ones there because I wear them to game day. I bought them for Sydney FC, so I love them.
Very nice. Does Ante have the worst shoe game in the team? Is that what it is?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think what shoes he wears. I think Ante's a pretty stylish guy.
Okay. Hey, now I know I can't criticize Ante. I know. Okay, not that I was before, but
no.
Okay, I know that Ante's shoe game is something that should be respected. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I notice up on the wall behind you, Mackenzie, is it a Sydney FC poster? Or am I looking at it correctly?
Yeah, it is our Premier's poster that we won last year.
I thought it was Premier's.
No,
I thought 2020 Vision had just slipped me by, but no, it is Premier.
No, Mackenzie's like, how are you guys seeing this stuff? Like, I just picked a random wall and now you're interrogating my room. No.
I put it up like last year, and I like to have it up.
Well, do you add a new variant of the poster if things go well? Does it get replaced if things go well this weekend, or do you add another poster onto the wall?
I think I'll just add another poster onto the wall. I think that's what I'll do, and then hopefully add maybe a grand final one. Hopefully.
Well,
if
you keep going how you're going, you're going to end up with a lot of posters on the wall.
Exactly.
Be a mosaic.
Exactly. Now that's a good place to finish this interview off. Mackenzie, good luck on the weekend against Newcastle. Obviously, we know how much it means to the team to get that, the three-peat for the Premier. So good luck with that. I'm hoping you score a goal because I want to see the celebration again because I like it. It's nice and subtle. And then good luck with the final series. And thank you for joining us here on Radio Dub. We're going to head to a quick break here. And then after the break, we're going to speak to Grace Gill. And that should be a lot of fun, right, Lachie?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Grace is great value.
But we'll see everyone else at the break.
Are you a professional optimizer? Time to look at Northern Peugeot Bandura to further professionalise your fleet with their updated commercial van range. The team at Northern Peugeot Bandura can help customise your fleet to your business needs. Stock arriving now, so secure your van and beat the rush before the end of financial year madness. Visit northernpeugeot.com.au or call 9119 9008. T&Cs apply.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Pickett, she lays it off to Pokuah. It's an absolute peach. Is driving. What a hit from the leader is. Wow.
And Sam Kerr has a hat-trick.
Hello and welcome back to Radio Dub after that break. If you missed it, we just spoke to Mackenzie Hawkesby from Sydney FC, and that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. We found out her shoe game is on point, and I respect.
Apparently, the entirety of Sydney FC, very strong shoe game.
What can't Sydney FC do is the question I will ask.
Look, we had a good time with Mackenzie.
Exactly.
I don't want to sour it by answering things that Sydney FC haven't done in recent times.
Exactly. Whoa, Lachie, don't take shots at people like that.
I'm not getting myself into trouble.
Guy. No, you're not.
Straight back.
But speaking to Mackenzie Hawkesby, a player that a person who did put Mackenzie Hawkesby in her team of the season so far. It's Grace Gill.
I do.
It's Grace Gill. And Grace, we really appreciate you joining us. We've been trying to get you on the show, but you're a very busy person. So we thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you so much for having me, and it's great to be here. Sorry it's taken a couple of goes, but it's a pleasure.
It's right. No, we understand you're a busy person, the commentary, the punditry, you're travelling. I want to be like Grace when I grow up, Lachie. That's what I've decided. I see Grace doing all these things. I'm like, would be nice, yeah? Would be nice. Now, Grace, finals is coming with the Dub, and Final Four is not set yet. Do you have a prediction, or are you trying to avoid making a prediction?
First of all, I love the fact that it's not settled yet. Like the fact that they were going into the final round of the season and we're still waiting on games and results, and there's so many different permutations around how this could fall is actually really cool, and I love that about this year. As for trying to make predictions or guesses about how it's going to land, I've got some thoughts about it. I'm not sure that I want to put them out into the universe. But Sydney are looking pretty good, I have to say. And it's a hard act to follow after Mackenzie Hawkesby to be on the show. But she's obviously one of those who have been in fine form.
No, she has been really good, and you put her in your team of the season. Now, obviously, that's your first team, Grace. Do you have did you make a team the second team? Because obviously in the NBA they've got this first team All NBA, second team All NBA. Do you have a second team All Dub?
Look, easily. And it's actually such a hard exercise to do, and I really struggled to just narrow it down to 11, and I was trying to argue with both Cam and T. Polias on the pod to make a bench as well. I'm like, can we include a bench? Can we get some more numbers in around this team?
I have to say, Grace, I saw you and T in the bottom right of the graphic, and I thought, you have named yourself on the bench. Either that or you've got a starting 13.
Oh no, I'm well and truly retired. T, on the other hand, she's ready. She's ready to lace up, except for she did get a red card at the weekend with the Sydney Olympics. So sorry, T, to throw you under the bus like that.
I saw this, and I'm tempted to wear a shirt that says red card on it, just to try and annoy Teresa Flash.
You might find yourself on the end of a red card offence if you
exactly.
do
That is true. No, I would never do that. Now, Grace, you've been doing a lot this season. You got into commentary. How has that been like? Are you liking it? Are you hating it? But I'm assuming you're liking it. But you tell us how you feel.
No, it's been a whirlwind. This year has been super busy, but in really good ways, working across both the A-League men's and the women's as well. And then the opportunity to do a few lead commentary games that sort of wasn't necessarily part of the plan this year so much, but something that I was more than happy to try my hand at, and enjoyed it. And I think I spoke to you about, Pokuah, I have a new found appreciation for the work that you do and the work that the other women do, and the wonderful men as well who do those lead calls week in, week out. That there's a huge amount of research and preparation that goes into that. So it's a pretty impressive thing.
No, see, when I heard Grace do it for the first time, I said, this is ridiculous. It's not fair. Grace can't be this good at it the first time. It's ridiculous. Doesn't make sense. But you know what, Grace? Because you're so busy, everybody doesn't know, but you're a 2-watch type of person, one on each hand. Is because you're so busy, is that the reason why you're wearing 2 watches at one time? Is that
what?
No, Grace wears 2 watches, two different.
The penny only just dropped. I was like, what is it? Is 2-watch person a code phrase? Is it a figure of speech? No, it's a literal, it's a statement of fact.
It's a statement of fact. Grace is a, new fancy digital watch, and the nice Casio watch, a very impressive watch. But is this why you've got to wear 2 watches at the same time, because you're such a busy individual? You're checking on 2 different time zones?
2 different time zones, Sydney, Canberra, the time difference between the two is, just can't keep up with it. But no, today I've just got the one on. I know pod listeners can't necessarily see that, but just the one. I did take the other one off for the purpose of this pod for the exact reason that I knew you'd pointed out.
I spotted it once and I was like, that's such an interesting... I thought she was going to do like the Spy Kids, have 3 watches on it, like one hand, but Grace is a 2, one per.
But that answer right there is completely... It tells you everything you need to know about why Grace found the transition to lead commentary so seamless. The level of research. You knew Pokuah was going to ask about the watches, and it was gone.
You've got to know your audience. Exactly. You've got to know your audience.
That's why.
No, that is fair, and it's fine. She was prepared. That's fine. It is what it is. Now, Grace, I want to think back to this season. Has there been a moment for you that's been a highlight in terms of the games that you've watched? Is there a game that stands out for you, or a player that's really surprised you with their development?
That's a great question.
I try my best.
No, that's good. That's a good one. It's hard. Someone asked me the other day what the game of the season has been, and I don't have one that springs to mind so much, but there's definitely been, I think, players across the season that perhaps I didn't know a huge amount about going into the season that have really stood up for me in a way that has surprised me and really pleasantly surprised me. And some people wouldn't be surprised just knowing these players more closely than what I did. But I think one of them for me was actually Vesna Milivojevic at Canberra. And I know she's been around the traps for a while, and we've lost her to Serbia, which is a shame for the national team. But she was a player that I just hadn't seen play much. And I think she's stepped up in a way that has been really important for Canberra, and she's a really talented technical player. She's been really impressive for Canberra this year.
I mean, is that one of the big benefits of the extension of the season? We're only going to get more games from here on in, of course, that teams have been able to ebb and flow, obviously, there was a certain pundit who we all know and hold dear to our hearts that described a certain game as being Canberra's darkest day. Now they stand potentially a chance of making the top 4. Sorry, Teo.
Don't talk about the war, Lachie. Don't talk about the war.
So in the same way, teams have been given the sort of the breadth to ebb and flow, I suppose. It's sort of been a little bit same for the players. There are players getting the chance to have more time at this sort of level, get more minutes at this level, and mature into players who we didn't necessarily know, for lack of a better expression, had that in their locker.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And yeah, separate to the point of teams having more weeks to either find their form or come back from poor results or come back from injury as well, because in many seasons gone by, if you fall to an injury 6 to 8 weeks out, if you a bad ankle or God forbid a bad knee, you just don't see any more games. But what we have seen this season, like I take Kath Zimmerman as an example, she's not only broken her leg, but rehabbed, come back and is back to playing, which in former W League seasons gone by just would not have been a possibility. So I think it's really benefited some of those players. And I think I'd even sort of cast my mind to some of the players who have gotten opportunities when, for example, the Matildas have gone away with the team to travel. And then these younger players have stepped up. Look at India Dos Santos, who's now getting amazing game time at Sydney FC, who got her opportunity when some of those young Matildas went away for Sydney FC. And those moments are brilliant. And it's so great that we've got this amazing crop of young talent coming through our domestic league.
And the other thing it's done is it's allowed some records to tumble and be equalled. And obviously it would be, I think, remiss of Pokuah and I not to ask you about Michelle Heyman, because it's just, I mean, when you actually look at all of the different stats, all of her different contributions to the Liberty A-League, I mean, to the sport in this country, we know she's a remarkable player, but it's astounding. I mean, to be the record games holder, equal for the moment with Kim Carroll, of course, and the record goal scorer, meandering potentially towards a century. We've never seen it before. How do you even put that level of brilliance into words? I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Look, it's so hard to summarise, but I think there's a couple of things that really importantly to point out about Michelle is that she was a really late bloomer. She didn't start playing until she was in her late teens. So it's not a case of, a 15-year-old that we're seeing now play and be at 100 appearances by the time that they're 20. Michelle really only started playing more competitively when she was 15, 16, and then was in the W League then when she was, I think, maybe 18 or 19. So the fact that she's done it in the time frame that she has is impressive. And she started off at Sydney FC and didn't really play much. And it's so hard to fathom a Michelle Heyman who was sitting the bench, struggling to get match minutes, and then moved across to Central Coast and absolutely tore it up. And that was my first introduction to Michelle, was playing against Central Coast with Canberra United, and she absolutely barreled me over. And so I remembered her fondly. We chatted after the game and she's like, "Oh, hi, sorry about that. I'm Michelle." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Thanks. Now I'm injured.
Yeah, cheers. But, we've been good friends ever since. And then what she's gone on to do with Canberra and achieve, not only in the way of record-breaking statistics, Matildas, has just been spectacular.
See, now, Grace, there's two things that I've got to ask you. But firstly, Michelle Heyman for Matildas, what are your thoughts on that? Are we yes, no? Does she deserve a chance? What are you feeling when it comes to that?
Yeah, look, I spoke about this a bit on the A-League Women's Pod. And
whoa, Grace, are you trying to plug another podcast on our podcast?
Sorry,
what are you trying to do right now?
Exactly.
Yeah, you should listen to it.
You set me up. You teed me up for that, Pokuah. But I did mention it in that she, given what she's doing in the league and the other players who are currently playing in A-League Women's who are getting called up to the Matildas, I think Michelle should be in that frame. And she spoke about it when Dubzone spoke to her at the end of the game, and she said how she had been on a long list of of the Matildas camp, and then she got an email not long before that most recent game that she hadn't made the final cut, and she seems really emotional about it. So I think that's quite hard for a player. But for Michelle, she's playing in really good form at the moment. So look, I think I'd have her just given her performances recently.
Yeah, do you know what I really like about Michelle Heyman? I think she might have like one of like the coolest hair games going in because she looks sick on the football field. She's just like, she looks so calm and relaxed, and her hair's just like, I wish I could, I could pull being that cool off on a football field, but I also can't run really well, so it really just shut it down.
Details.
Exactly. Now, Grace, I wanted to ask you, obviously this is a Victorian pod based in the greatest state in the entire country. And you're from Canberra, and obviously Canberra, and does everybody in Canberra kind of know each other, or like do you guys just meet up? Like how does that really work in Canberra like that?
Oh, 100%. No, every person we walk past.
I assume you just see Anthony Albanese all the time. Does that
every day?
G'day, Ant. You're on Ant terms, I imagine.
So we asked
Elbow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
exactly.
of course.
Get it right, please.
Well, I thought that everyone calls him Elbow, so you would have being neighbours, special nickname.
No, I'm just trying to understand, because obviously Canberra's a state that I don't. Oh, it's not even a state, is it? Is it a state or territory? What is it? Is Canberra a state or territory, Grace?
I'll let you think about that one. Australian capital.
ACT.
Oh, yeah, it's a territory.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. So it's one of those things. Who cares? But in Canberra,
again, details.
What makes Canberra so like special? Because I say this because Mackenzie Park, every time like I call a game, that crowd is so loud and so like I think they're the most into it out of any fan base in the entire dub. What makes it so special?
I think it is that point that you've just made there, the fact that it is really such a small community, and you can walk down the street, whether it's to go and grab a coffee or to do whatever you're doing, to go to the shops, and people, as a Canberra United player, will genuinely recognise you. And that doesn't happen in bigger towns and bigger states and bigger territories, because you just sort of fall into the greater population. But in Canberra, there's this real opportunity where players at the end of the game, because McKellar is such a close crowd, like physically close to the field, you're having conversations with these fans who have been there since day one, and they're there every single week, and there's a real investment and engagement in the team, and it is a really wonderful, wonderful sporting city. And the fans, the community, get behind our teams in Canberra, not just Canberra United, but particularly because we are the standalone women's team for now. There's a really special part in Canberra's history for this team.
No, I think I got to give Canberra. I got to give these other states a chance. I don't know why I'm so harsh on it.
The only way is up from the amount of credit you gave it before.
I don't even dislike Canberra. Like it's just I've never.
They don't have beaches, Pokuah. You should love Canberra.
That's true. That is true. If you don't have any beaches, I will.
You're anti-sand.
Exactly. I am so anti-sand. I'm literally no sand. Ridiculous concept, but
you wear sandals all the time. It's not
sandals.
important.
I don't wear sandals, and I wear socks with them. Do you think I'm going to wear that on the sand? Like, come on, please. I'm a respectable human being, Lachie.
Steer us back on course.
Exactly. Grace, I've got to ask, Western United, Forza and PL Victoria, I've got to bring that up at least once every podcast episode. Western United, obviously the back half of the season hasn't been great for them, but they've accumulated a lot of points in the first half with when Jess McDonald was here. How have you seen their season as a whole, and have you what player from there besides Hannah Keane has impressed you the most?
I've really, really liked Western United, and they're a team that have, I guess, spoken about this quite openly, in that they don't always play the prettiest type of football, and they're pretty direct in their style. So results aside, what I really like from an outsider looking in from the group is what seems to be a really lovely culture there. And I think that's a huge credit to what Mark Picasso has built around that group. And then as well, players like Jess McDonald, Chloe Lagazo going in, setting a professional standard. And then the Calder girls, who have obviously been with each other for many years, have built something that seems really, really special. And that's been really nice to sit back and watch as a neutral in Western United's sort of progression over the season. I think they've been really special. And in terms of the player who I think has impressed, there's actually been a few from Western United that I've enjoyed, besides the obvious ones in what people like Jess McDonald did do there. I've really liked Alana Cern and everything that she's contributed to the group, and I think she's been a versatile player. I think she's established herself on, our national league stage as a player who is good enough to be there well and truly. And then there's been some really bright glimpses from players like Emma Robers, and unfortunately we saw her go down last weekend with that ankle injury. I hope she's okay. It's nothing too serious, but there's been quite a few of the girls from Western United that I've really enjoyed watching over the season.
Another one who has been in and out over the course of the season, but now returned and is locked in for next season. I'm interested to get your thoughts on the return of Chloe Lagazzo, because it's exciting to have her back. When she was on the park, she was really exciting. She played really well for Western United. She, I think, added a missing dimension at times in midfield, but the operative part of the sentence there is that she was in and out. We're still not sure how much, if we'll see her this final series, but she would make a big difference if she comes back in. How do you see that reacquisition of Chloe Lagazzo for potentially this season and definitely the next?
Yeah, I think it's a really good reacquisition, to put it that way, of Chloe back at Western United for two reasons. And one is for her personally, with the situation over at Kansas City, obviously no longer with the team in the NWSL, and importantly for Chloe will be a team where she knows when she's fit and healthy she can play and will get match minutes. And as we saw when she was with Western United earlier in the season, exactly that, had some really good performances and was on, tracking well on a good trajectory to hopefully re-enter the Matildas fold. The second part of where I see that as a really positive re-entry to the team is for what that will then do to the team. And whether or not she's playing much at all for this last couple of weeks of the season, I don't think matters too much. Of course, I'd love her on the field and would all love to see her on the field, but even if she's just around the group and what she will bring in the way of leadership and motivation, intensity, I think that part of it is really important too.
Well, sorry to just jump in, Pokuah. It just sparked in my brain. I mean, let's put a hypothetical out there. Obviously, we've all been very high on Western United's season. They've broken, I think, a lot of people's expectations. Maybe some of them are in this room. I don't know.
No expectations.
Maybe,
I said Forza NPL Victoria from the start. Don't try to do stuff like that to me.
I'm only kidding. But obviously, it has been a difficult end to the season. Sydney have got the Premier's played in their own hands. There is a hypothetical scenario in which Western United are potentially, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but could go out of the finals in straight sets. How would you reflect? Is their season still a net positive? Is it still overwhelmingly positive? Where does it rank on the out of 10 scale if Western were to go out, in successive finals despite making it in their inaugural year?
Yeah, I think that would be a bit bittersweet, both as a fan and as a player in that team. I think I'd love to see them go as far as possible, just given, the fairy tale of a new team in the league, how well they have performed, the fact that they have far and beyond exceeded expectations. But even if they are to bow out in sort of the first set of finals, I think there will be so much that group is proud of. And I don't think it will feel like a failure by any means, because I think they have already beyond met expectations and far and beyond. So anything from now is almost a bonus, I'd say. No team really expects to come into a league brand new and just clean sweep their whole way through to a premiership or a championship. So anything from here, I would say, is a lovely shine on top of what has been a spectacular first season.
No, I think it's been. I think when you think about how much they've done, and you can't really say it is a negative season. You never expect that, and I think Mark Torcaso and his coaching staff would be pretty impressed, and they know where they can improve.
I agree with Grace. I think it would be recency bias to look at this season, only through its sort of the back end and what's happened. It's been a success.
Exactly. Now, Grace, it wouldn't be a Radio Dub interview if we didn't ask you about music.
Have you got 2 watches on now? That's what she was going to ask.
No, see, I didn't. I would never. About music. Now, Grace, what is on your playlist at the moment? As a person, you're a busy individual, you're traveling a lot. Now, what are you listening to? What's gone off the rotation and what's currently sticking on there?
Okay, very big question. So I spend a lot of time driving at the moment, up and down the Hume Highway from Canberra to Sydney. A lot of that time is spent with podcasts, and I'll be honest,
Okay.
there's a lot of time filled in that drive with podcasts.
Are you
But
1.5 speed, or are you actually listening to it like on 1 speed?
you know what? Teo Palazeri will be proud of me. I've graduated to 1.5.
As long as you don't get to 1.8.
No,
when you
he's
hit one,
insane.
when you hit 1.8,
Not
you
even
just.
listening to
I'm
the
sorry,
words.
you're
It's
lost.
just white
You're
noise.
lost.
I mean, I never knew the intro music to this pod was so slow, but I guess that's just on regular speed. But music is a really, really big part of my life, and both as a former player and playing most recently with Canberra, Croatia, and I was definitely the DJ. So proud DJ in the change room. Would take requests, but for the most part, my default is veering
Some people
towards
shouldn't give
90s R&B
requests.
hip hop.
Some people shouldn't get requests. Honestly,
Some people are banned. But anything 90s R&B hip hop, my go-tos, Missy Elliott is a favourite time and time again. Anything Timberland, anything Beyonce, that never ages for me. Like that's kind of my.
I'm not even
I
going
think Pokuah's about to cry happy tears in the studio. I think.
No, you know what? Because people never say Timberland. That man's underrated. Okay, he's a musical genius. And when I heard Grace say it, I just was like, I didn't realize that music got out to Canberra. So I was
That's
like quite
true.
impressed by the
all the way from Virginia Beach to
Exactly.
Canberra, the ACT.
I didn't think.
Personally, I was still stuck on trying to think what the intro music to this show sounds like at 1.5 speed. Frankly, I don't want to know the answer.
Honestly, he'd be so.
It's pretty cool. I got to say, it's pretty cool.
Maybe we need
1.5
to try and speed it up, and then Grace does it by 1.5, and then it's unlistenable. You can't even
It's
listen
at
to
3.
it. You can't even listen to it now. Also, Grace, obviously, Canberra, small place. Everyone knows everyone. Fantastic. Woo, Canberra. But I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it. What's the best place to eat in Canberra? What's like is it a brunch spot or is it like a dinner spot? Like what's the spot in Canberra that you got to go to?
Well, that's so hard just to name one because for all the stick it does get, Canberra has a really, really good food, coffee, wine scene. So if
not
you're
Melbourne,
into any of
okay.
those things, it's, it's not Melbourne, but it does pretty well. So the wine region around Canberra, if you're into wine, lovely, lovely wines. Food as well. We have an amazing number of fantastic restaurants. There's a beautiful Japanese restaurant called Raku, which I would recommend to anyone who is visiting Canberra, but also coffee. The coffee scene in Canberra is insane, and there's just that many good cafes. I know from Melbourne. I get it.
No.
I was with you. I was with you until that point. I was trying
gonna
really
lie
hard
to
to be
you.
respectful.
I think Radio Dub needs to send Lachie to Canberra for a week because I feel like Lachie would really like it. I feel like it's just your personality.
I wouldn't mind giving those pollies a piece of my mind. Yeah.
You're welcome anytime, Lachie.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll send you.
Can I ask Grace a last
A serious question?
a serious question?
go for it.
Because you're talking about favorite spots. I'm going to put you on one right now where at the end of the final round, it's been played. There are 4 teams remaining in the Liberty A-League. The rest, the other 6, they're not disappeared. They've been knocked out. All right, we're at the end. Who are the 4 teams? What's the order?
She said she wasn't going to make prediction earlier, by the way.
I know, but I'm like checking with the 2 watches. I'm going in again.
Yep. Okay, he's going in again, dipping in again. Okay. I'm going to say it'll be Sydney.
Shocker, Grace.
Western
Shocker.
United. I'm just deliberating over 3rd and 4th and the order. Sydney, Western United, Melbourne City, Canberra.
Oh,
Nice.
that's okay.
Nice.
Okay. I only tweak.
Well handled. Well handled.
I
Thank
tweak
you.
once. I reckon you got it, but Victory go in and City could drop out. That's my
Okay, yep,
I reckon
yep.
City drop out because they lose to Canberra on the weekend. Yeah.
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 Lucky make predictions.
I'm staying out of
You're
it. No, I'm
shocker.
staying out of it.
Oh, okay. I see.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, Grace, I want to thank you for joining us on Radio Dub tonight. We really appreciate it. Obviously, there was a lot of slander towards Canberra, but there's nothing personal.
Not for me. Not for me.
You're
I'm neutral. I'm Switzerland.
Nothing personal. Canberra's a
None taken.
great territory.
None
Now that I've learnt that, my year 2 teacher would be so disappointed in me that I didn't know Canberra was a territory.
We were too.
But no, Grace, thank you for joining us. Are you on Dub Zone this weekend? Are you calling? Are you just watching the games this weekend?
Calling this weekend. I'm on the Brisbane Roar Perth Glory game co-commentary with Cam Johnson.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'll see you there. Grace.
I'll see you there. Thanks very much for having me.
No worries.
It's been a pleasure to chat to you both.
That's it for Radio Dub this week. If you missed anything with the Mackenzie Hawkesby interview, you can check it out on Spotify and everything else.
And you can listen at any speed you like. Preferably not 1.8, but the other ones are all
We
good.
said some relevant things that we'd like you to hear. But bye for now. But there might be something special coming out for Radio Dub content tomorrow if I can learn to edit really quickly. Bye-bye.
Pickett, she lays it off. Teresa Polias